Hello, and welcome to another video. So we're continuing on with this series of videos. This series of videos is for new grad massage therapists, like I said before, or maybe people who have been in the industry, but you trust my advice and wisdom here. May God bless you, okay, as you go on this journey. But things are changing here for me, and like I said in those last few videos, as things are changing for me, I realized that just because I'm leaving out, that doesn't mean other people are not coming in. Okay. And I want to let you know something, because I have made this little trend in these videos. It's just telling you a little something. If you have not watched that first video, go and watch that one. That video was more broad. I told you I would answer questions, and I would also, from that video, kind of develop other videos as the Holy Spirit led me to share information with you. So I'm continuing on to do that. But I'm okay with digging holes, even if I realize the hole is not for me. I know a lot of people don't operate like that, but I'm okay with not operating like a lot of people. I'm okay to dig a hole and put in all the work, all the blood, all the sweat, all the tears into digging the hole to realize it's not my hole. And what some people don't realize is God will let me know it's not my hole while I am digging it, before I even begin digging it. This is not your hole. This is for somebody else. This is not for you to come up. This is for somebody else. You guys remember that with the military videos. So this is continuing on the same vein. If you don't understand that, like I said, go watch that first video. It'll help you to see if these are even videos that you even care to listen to. Like, I might not be the person to help you out. So I made another video, which you'll probably see it around the same time, or if not shortly after. That video is already uploaded. I just have to put the thumbnail and stuff. When I woke up this morning, I saw that someone asked a question. I told you that I would take questions. I don't normally take questions here on this channel, but much like I did when I did those military videos, there was a very short span of time where I asked questions. Now people ask questions on those videos, and most of those videos I have actually disabled the comments, because I'm not in the position to answer those questions any longer. The same thing will be true for these massage videos. So I'm just letting you know. You see these videos, a year, 6 months down the road, I won't be answering questions about them. So someone did make a comment, ask a question, and funny enough, a lot of those questions are actually answered in the other video, because I answered them before I saw the person ask the question. But we will address some more things in today's video. All right. So if all that interests you, we're going to talk about bosses in this video. We're going to talk about add-ons in this video. We're going to talk about filming in this video. The last video I did for you was about social media. I will link it. In the first video, like I told you, it was more broad. I can't remember the topic that we talked about specifically in the second video. I'll link all those, and if I don't link them, you can go ahead and find them. They'll all be in this new massage therapist playlist. Okay, so without further ado, let's get started with today's video. So the first part of the person's question was, am I able to provide tips and tricks for running a membership-based business from your experience? I will tell you this, that from my experience, membership-based businesses, either people love them or they don't. When someone is finished their massage, the worst thing that you can do, and I'm saying this from what I have seen personally, and also what I've seen, like what I have experienced personally, and also what I see with like the front desk, and that is, people do not like to be harassed about memberships. Okay, they will harass you. If they like the massage, and don't take it so personal if they like the massage. If it's what they're looking for, they are going to rebook. Like I said in that last video, there were people who, as soon as they left, like as soon as their massage was done, they asked me how could they get back on the schedule. There were people who will book and pay in advance. Remember, that's all a part of setting up your scheduling. I've talked to you guys about this before. I do not recommend selling packages. Why? Because stuff happens and people gonna want their money. Okay, what do I mean by selling packages? Let's say you sell somebody, you say, because girls like to get all the money. Let's say you sell somebody 5 massages, and let's say the package is $500. They are going to be highly upset if you don't have the availability to give them the massages that they paid for. They essentially feel as though you are indebted to them. Tanzania, what then am I supposed to do to get clients to come back and things like that? Aside from doing a good massage, I'm going to talk about a few things, and that was the system that I use, which is points. People love to get something complimentary. So use that and work with that. I would not suggest. I remember getting a massage. I'm sorry, I just finished walking again. I should have drank some regular water and not sparkling water, so I'm gonna be burping, but whew. I had just finished getting a massage, and I added hot stones to the massage. This was before I was like heavy into working with franchise. Now I know that the girl clearly came from franchise because of some of the practices. Like I said, I got hot stones with my massage. My hot stones were not hot at all. They were like lukewarm stones, borderline cold. So they weren't prepared before. So I wasn't really pleased with not just her style of massage. Some people in her reviews, they liked it. Obviously, some people like it. People like different things. But I didn't like the massage. She wanted me to rebook, and I didn't want to rebook. So she put me in a position to, one, like, let's say someone does rebook with you, but they didn't actually like the service. They're not the one prompting the rebooking. They didn't like it. Then you have cancellations on your hand. Whereas there was a lady that I used to go and get frequent massage that she didn't have to reach out to me and say, hey, I have slots open. Do you need to rebook? She didn't have to do that, because I wanted to get back on the schedule. So the first person I'm talking about who was selling the membership, she was literally trying to sell memberships. She would send out these text messages, oh, I'm running a special here. Oh, I'm doing a special here. She's no longer doing massages, but it doesn't work. When people want the massage, they're going to come, they're going to find they're going to find you. If they already know you and they want a massage, they're going to come back in and book. So just don't ruin people's experience by bantering them to sign up for memberships. Like I said, do something better and offer like a rewards, like a perk system for coming in. Okay. And even for referring other people. But we're going to talk a lot more about that. I even found like throwback stuff. Okay. I was making all kind of stuff. The Lord is looking out for you. Okay. Because some of this stuff I would have just went on ahead and deleted. But I have it here for you today. So yes, I want you to consider that. I've seen people like literally ready to leave out for their massage, and the front desk is harassing them about like just laying out this whole skit. I would go so far as to say, you know what, pay for the massage in advance and then allow people like the space to tip you afterwards. I didn't put this here on my notes, but also a thing that I used to do, I used to have QR codes like on the wall, and no, I didn't just slap it on the wall like a piece of paper. I framed it like use a frame. You can use like this, like a frame like this, right? And then literally had the QR codes in there just very nicely. Different QR codes, whether it's PayPal, whether it's Cash App, however you Square, however you're taking your payments, I will have the QR codes so that people like to pay and then go. Like, don't make it so much of a hassle. And memberships at the end is very hassly. Okay. I know if your goal is to get people to come back, that's when you focus on the service itself, the enhancements itself. You focus on creating an experience that makes people come back. Selling memberships is not it. I'm just being 100% honest with you. It's what I've seen. It's what I've experienced. It's not it. Okay. So, the next question was about what makes a good boss? Somebody who recognizes your work. I will tell you that it was a day in the life video I was making, and I was about to leave the place where I currently work. And, it was a little sad to me, but I was ready to go in. My schedule had changed at the time, and I was going to have to give it up sooner than I wanted to. I went in to talk to my boss, and basically she was like, no, I actually don't want to let you go. Like, I don't want to lose you. So somebody who recognizes that I'm not a person who comes in late, I pick up shifts. I help out. If somebody came late, I would move my break to take in other appointments and stuff like that. So a boss that recognizes your work. When I wrote down this situation, a boss that recognizes your work, I remember the first place that I worked at outside of school. I met with the owner. She would pop in. She was very hands-on. She would pop in here and there. And it was like first thing in the morning, the shift had just started. And she came back and said something like, she was telling me something, but it was kind of like yelling at me. And I thought to myself, there's many different places I could work. And I found this, I'm gonna be honest with you. I found that owners the people who are owners and bosses, if this is you, you got to be very careful of this, because they have a vested interest, right? They're interested in their business succeeding. And then a lot of times they don't think about the fact that the therapist is actually people, and the therapist can choose to go anywhere, and they have chosen to work there with you. You have to be very careful of that. I have noticed this, and I'll be honest with you in saying I stopped working for people who were bosses and the owners, if you know what I mean. Like, I like a spa manager. I need an HR department because people were stealing tips and all that kind of stuff. I'm not saying that that's you, but I'm telling you that it is something that you have to be aware of. If you even can go as far as to hire someone to work like the front desk and handle the tips and stuff, don't put yourself in a situation where you're tempted to rip your therapist off because you see the opportunity to get more money. Also, with the contract I have right now, that was one of the things that I looked at as far as coming back to work for that young lady. Where my money? Like, how do I have to bother you about my money, or you gonna make sure I get my money? You know what I mean? Things like that. Just recognizing your work, recognizing, yes, you do show up on time, even recognizing the client's feedback towards a particular therapist. These are things to me that make a good boss. If I say I can't stay late, not being mad that I can't stay late when you know I'm always here on time. I'm always covering my shifts. You know what I mean? Like, just recognizes your work. Pays for no shows is a thing. When people do not show up, and let's say you have 2 no shows in a day, that's sitting around, you're not getting paid. I would like a boss, a company in general, that pays for that, because some people I have found get very annoyed by this. Now, if you're smaller, I know that it's a little different, but that's why, you can elevate your business without hiring out other people, because when you hire out other people, you do become a lot like, you understand why the franchise model is the way that it is, if you know what I mean. And it's hard to keep people satisfied. It's hard to keep other therapists satisfied because everybody's kind of like, oh, I can make this money by myself. I can make this money by myself. And they don't realize everything that goes into making the business successful, okay? Including keeping the people that work for you happy, keeping the clients happy. It's a balancing act, but nothing is too hard for the Lord to give you the wisdom to do. So again, I say pay for no shows. We don't want to just be sitting around. How do you do this? You make sure that, like I said, people pay up front. That's a thing. Make sure that you have a card. Make sure you're using a platform that does not allow prepaid cards. I found this a lot of time. People will put a card on there that's like prepaid or something. There's no money on it. So when the person doesn't show up and then you don't get the money. So find out a way to make sure, whether it's deposits, however you want to work that out, just make sure that people are getting paid for their time. That celebrates you, a boss that celebrates you. We do birthdays and anniversaries. I've seen them do baby showers. There's a lot of celebration going on. And at first I didn't really think this was important. And then I saw that it was nice when my birthday came around and I was celebrated, signing cards, just little things like that. Just recognize you, celebrate you. Another thing is a place that does competitions and you get incentives and prizes. I told you people like that. The customers like prizes, incentives, but the workers also like prizes and incentives. So we'll have a month where you can see who gets the most upgrades, and then you'll get like a free, facial product or something. You get a free massage yourself. I hear a lot of massage therapists actually complain that they can't afford to get the things themselves. And really it's not afford. It's more like, I don't have the time and I really don't want to use my money in this way. So giving just incentives would be nice. It's a nice thing. It's a nice thing to look for in a company specifically. But I guess you could generalize it to a boss as well. Okay. So let's move on to the next thing. And that is add-on procedures. Now, I said I do not recommend the membership model in that way, but I do recommend like a reward system. But I want to tell you some things. So enhancing the overall experience. There's some things that I used to do. Hot towels. I used to have like 6 hot towels per person. I know to you that sounds like a lot of laundry, and I absolutely was doing a lot of laundry, but it was a hit. Okay. The people loved it. I have worked at franchises before where they said two towels per client. And I thought that was like an industry standard. And then I work at the place that I work now. I've worked at other places like how many towels you want to prepare. That's how many towels it is, because you can enhance the massage just by using warm towels. And I was going to show you this, but I just don't have time to be taking out the table and everything. Like warm towels. After you're done massaging the back, do a little warm compressions. You probably know this, but if you don't know this, when you do not take a hot towel and then just directly throw it on somebody's back. First of all, make sure that you keep your hand on the person, and then you're able to test the temperature of the hot towel. Even after you have tested the temperature of the hot towel and it's okay for you, do not startle someone by throwing a hot towel on their back. What I like to do is touch it over here on the arm, roll it, and maybe open it. I'm gonna go ahead. When I do that video, I'll link it for you. I'll try to get it done this week. Work with me. Just don't throw it on somebody's back because it will startle them. But you can enhance the massage with adding hot towels. I did it. It doesn't have to be no sugar scrub or nothing like that. You can just use hot towels, okay? And you could even use that as like a free add-on. As far as spraying the towels with things, I like the idea. You probably saw it. I put a picture of my last suite that I had. I had many different like little oils and things. I don't know if I have. Oh, here's one. So this is one of the spray bottles. It says towel spray actually on it. I don't know if you can see it. It says towel spray, and then it's color coded with a little string here. So what I would do is I don't have one of the little things. Hold on. Okay. Let's just use this for instance. So let's say this is the foot scrub and this is the towel spray. The foot scrub would have this little string on it as well. And at the start of the service, as an enhancement, I would say, choose which scent that you want for your service. And I would incorporate that throughout the service. You could use that. They could pay for that as an enhancement, or you could just use that as like a way to enhance the service. You choose. But there are ways, like I said, inexpensive to you, that you can make it special. Another thing is drinks. I used to offer drinks. So I used to have a little clipboard. And while they were like, filling out the intake form, because I did thorough intakes, because when you're working by yourself, people like to sue, people like to say what you did and didn't do, especially when you're smaller. They don't play with the franchise like that, but they will try to play with you like that. Drinks. I used to have drinks, little bottled waters. You could have something like little sparkling waters, hot tea. I had a little kettle that you put on, hot tea, whatever. Just enhance it in that way. I also had little bags. Girl, I can't believe I don't have any of this stuff in here. Little black bags. I wish I could go get one from the front. Hold on. All right, so hopefully you can still hear me. I bought these little bags from Uline, and I have like many of them. I would just open the bag like this. Obviously, it's very small. Let me show you how big it is. If you can see the can, it's like a small little cute bag. And what I would do is inside I would put a product. So I made like lip gloss and made different things, and I would sell it. I also made bracelets and stuff. I would put like little samples of stuff in there. The lip gloss specifically, I would put it inside, and then next time I would see somebody be like, "Oh, that lip gloss, I like that lip gloss," and they would buy it. So even if you're doing a wholesale, you're not actually making the products yourself. However, it's a good way also to sell the products that you're using. It's a good way to sample the products. So again, we'll talk about some enhancements here in a moment, but I put some of those in the services, like some of the enhancements for the services I use, just as samples in here so that they could try them out. I put a treat inside of here. So like little Chex Mix, little candy, just something real nice. So it just felt very nice. And then I also had candy. So where the little waiting, when they were waiting to fill out their little form, I didn't technically have people like backed up, but I did have room for one person to wait. That was for my second suite. My first suite actually did have a waiting room, but I had like a little jar like this, and I put nice candies in there, like Lindor truffles, and people love stuff like that. I just put nice candies inside of the jar like that. That's actually the jar that I used. So yes, there's that. Products, it's a good way to sell products. Having products inside of your like business, and we're talking if you're by yourself. Of course, if you're working in franchise, you're going to do things the way they do things, but they do things in the same way. That's how they sell stuff, right? They use a product during the service, and then you're able to buy the product that they have used, because people do. Like if you're using a certain lotion, or foot scrub is a good way to do it. Now, this is not a foot scrub like that, but let's say you have many foot scrubs like this, okay? And I used to do this as well. I used to like pre-package all the little things, right? Like take it all out, pre-package prepackage it, give it to people as a sample in their little bag. But let's say there was a certain cream that I used for the feet, which I did do. And then someone said, girl, my feet feel real good. Like, girl, my feet ain't never felt this moisturized. And I'll say, I'll sell the item. You can do that. I didn't do that, but you can do that. Things like that, you can be thinking of ways to enhance your business in that way. And people love it. Like I said, I did it with the lip gloss. I didn't do it with the foot product. Another thing is a heated pad, a fan, heated table, room scent like the diffuser. You can make all these things customizable. So when you have that little clipboard, however you do your intake, you can ask people all these questions. People love to feel like it's all about them. And honestly, they're paying you their money. We're talking, if you're getting up there in price, $140 and stuff like that for a massage, they're paying good. You could treat them good. They love an experience. Don't be so focused on quantity that you drop quality, okay? And then you start getting qualityless people coming in. You know exactly what I mean, girl. So yeah, the heating pad, adding the extra heating pad, like you can put on the back, is a very nice thing. Even some people like to control the music. I wouldn't suggest it, honestly. I would play music that I can do a good massage to, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, that's what they're here for. Heated table, again, asking people those questions. How do you like the table? Is the table temperature okay? Being able to control that. The room fragrance. Some people like different fragrances. Some people, like I said, this idea here, I would ask them about this. Now, you could set it up to where you actually do intakes previously. There are sites, I can't think of the one specifically. I'll try to put it on the screen. There are sites that you can use where you can they do intakes before you see them. You can do this with Wix as well, because I do this for alcohols, to where you can check all of these things off, and you will know what fragrance someone likes, so you can already have it set up in the room. I would highly suggest doing it that way if you are going to do it. Just have everything ready, customizable. You can customize the experience. So let's move to a few of those little rewards things. So the first one I have, I'm just going to pop them up on the screen. I'm going to be looking down. So the loyalty program, this is just ideas, like I said, for you, but these were things that I created long ago. Earn points when you book a massage, 50 points. Refer a friend, 25 points. Purchase a product, 10 points. You could play around with those numbers, obviously. You can play around with the rewards, but here I have rewards, 10 minutes added to your massage if you get 100 points. So that means after 2 massages, you can add 10 minutes to your massage. Girl, people ate it up. People love it. They love it. And it sounds good too. That's why you're looking. You're like, girl, I never thought about that. That's a good idea. It is. Complimentary add-on, again, 100 points, and you can play around with different things. You could single out all the add-ons and say they're worth different points. Perfect. And before I worked in franchise, I developed this. This was something that I made straight out of the school. So before I actually worked in the place where they would have been implementing this. So this ain't nobody's idea. This is my stuff, okay? This one here is a mom spa night. Again, that was something that I was heavily advertising towards. I wanted to do more parties and things like that. So yes, creating the sign up sheet, but also this is like advertising, right? 1 hour spa massage, 3-course dinner. My husband is a chef, so that was nice. Cocktails and entertainment, private location, verified guests only. So that was more of like you could post this on your Instagram, but someone asked for this specifically for a girl's spa night. So there's that. That's just the idea for you. Here is, again, advertisement that I created on PicMonkey. I told you about that in the last video. A free add-on to any 90-minute massage, promotion valid. And then I have the price there of the 90-minute massage. That was when I first started. And you're going to see the prices here and you're not going to say nothing, because I told you already, I do not want to see your prices this low. I don't, but I'm just being honest with you. This is where I started out at. Okay, this is where I started out at. And this was after after I was doing the free stuff. Yes, I did free massages. Imagine that. And then I had very low prices. And I'm not telling you to do this, but I'm just showing you what it is that I did do. Imagine these prices and giving people Ritz-Carlton service. So don't wonder. So anyway, people love this as well. They love the free add-on. It was a promotion. So in this thing right here, I would actually run it as a promotion. So remember I told you in the last video, it's okay to pay for advertisement. I would run this on Instagram, was the one that I paid for a lot more advertising than not. I couldn't quite figure out the Facebook one. I didn't want to take the time to do it, honestly. Instagram was enough for me because all of my like profile stuff was there. I also talked about that in that video. I ran those as ads. I guess we could look at this picture as well. This is just some extra stuff when you talk about supplies and things like that. If you see the top item there, the little hand thing, if you're in franchise, you don't have control of this. If you buy yourself, I would highly suggest getting something that people can like put their arms out on, because people are different sizes and it just makes for a more comfortable experience. Okay. Another thing is the cervical neck aligner. I would just have as many things with me on hand that you can use to enhance the massage as tools to really help people out. Again, you can buy those little things and have like let's say someone's like, man, that thing that you use, I really did love that. Like, where do I get it from? You can say, I have some for sale. Again, we're talking about next tier. We're talking about elevating your practice. I'm just letting you know how you could do it. You also see the spray there. Definitely have a professional spray. And when I say professional, I mean like medical grade. Okay. Yes. The eye pillows, you know how I feel about those. I don't actually like doing massages without eye pillows. I'll use the towel underneath, put the eye pillow on top. A lot of people, I have gotten many compliments over the years about how relaxing the weighted blanket is and the eye mask. So along with the heat, girl. Also the massage gun, that's another thing. We do sell mini massage guns at franchise. That's probably expensive for you to do, but maybe you could have like a referral code, a place where you get kickbacks. And I'm not telling you to push something to somebody that's not real. I'm not telling you that. But like this massage gun, I use it myself frequently. So if I had a referral code where I say, hey, if you bought it from here, I do get a commission for it, you could do that. Again, next level elevation. And you could do that for any product that maybe it does cost a little money, extra money, but you're going to have to be a person of integrity. I can't teach integrity at the end of the day. You have to be a person of integrity to not just be trying to sell stuff to people that that don't work. A lot of the time I get people asking for the specific essential oils that they smell, or just fragrance mixes that they smell. So if you're mixing up your own stuff, like you have your own towel sprays and stuff, you could bottle stuff up and sell it. Okay, make sure you're not hurting nobody. Make sure you're not doing nothing unethical and illegal. But there's that. This right here is just, I also created this. I created this after I did that spa massage with all those ladies that I didn't charge the right price for. I said, baby, that'll never happen again. And as soon as I left there, I changed my prices. So you can just take a look at this and see. It's for group services, $80 flat rate, travel free. I did change my prices around over the years, but like I said, this is the mindset that I was in at that time, and this could really help you out as far as pricing structure. I don't think I've ever showed this to you before. All packages include aromatherapy and spa music setup. So again, you can see that I was really gearing towards the parties. I really like the parties. This worked out for me. I would just make sure you're not shortchanging yourself, especially when you're doing parties and stuff like that. People like to see it very nostalgic. Like they're not there usually. They're just there for fun, have a good time. Treat it as such and get paid your money. Just saying. The next thing, this is something that I don't know if I mentioned as well. That's how you do your business cards. My first lineup of business cards, I put my phone number on there. I told you in the last video as well. I would suggest finding one place that people can communicate with you. For me, that place was email. Okay. Because I can set my email on the schedule. I don't want you calling my phone all day and night, because most of the time I'm honestly not going to answer it. So there's that. So I did change around my business cards. Again, you can see the Instagram there and the website. So choose what works best for you. I would just keep the business cards very simple, very cute, straight to the point. And there's that. I was doing many different things. Remember, I used to do craft shows and things of that nature. So I didn't want my business cards to be just massage business cards, but you're going to have to do what works best for you. Let's move to this one before we move back to that other one. Now, as you can see, a $40 new client special, that's what I used to run. That's how when I told you I had a full book of clients, 50 clients when I first started, like fresh out of school, it was because I ran a $40 new client special. And when they came, guess what? They were still getting the hot towels. They were still getting the enhanced experience. They were still getting the gift bags. I understood this. Like I told you in the very first video, I ran a business before I became a massage therapist. So I understand business practices, okay? And I understand that sometimes you have to show people how good something is for them to want it. I didn't have to push a membership. They would come back, and they would not come back at $40. As you can see, it says on this paper that the 60-minute was $55. I will tell you that was changed pretty quickly. One, because the platform that I use would charge me. If I'm really honest, I think a $80 60-minute is good. You could still do a $40 new content special is wild, but hear me out now. Right now, or in most franchises, I'll say this, $20 an hour, $22 an hour is not unheard of to make it. So you'll go there and you'll make the $22 an hour, but you say something about making $40 an hour. Yes, you have additional costs to consider, but remember, you're trying to start your business. So once your business already started and booming, make sure, yes, you want to get them in, but make sure that they know. Like, I would not make a page like this without letting them see how much is it for my actual 60-minute. The problem that I had here was that the actual 60-minute cost was not high enough. Make it high enough. Make it worth their while. Yeah, like an introductory rate, which they do in franchise as well. Again, I said I wasn't working at franchise when I developed this stuff. So yes, an introductory rate. But when they come back, like their introductory rate, let's say it's $80 at franchise. When they come back, it's $120. So make it worth your while. They like the massage, they're going to come back. You have to create the experience. They are going to come back. Make sure the pricing is right when they do come back. Do not shortchange yourself. Another thing is, this is another enhancement. I don't think I mentioned it. That's a shampoo bowl. You're looking at me, you're a black girl, you're looking at me, and you know black people don't like you to touch your hair until they do. Until that's what they're coming in for. You know those little head spas, and there is a massage table. It costs a little bit more money that like can add a better like hydro experience. We'll talk about that here in a second. But this one was an easy way to like do enhancements. Like I said, black people don't want you to touch their hair until they do. So knowing how to do a little scalp massage, I'm not telling you to sit there and act like a cosmetologist and get yourself in trouble. I'm not telling you to do that. But there are different ways that you can enhance the services. Okay, let's move back to this one. And then I think that's all I have for you. No, I have two. So let's go to this one first. It's called Enhance Your Experience. I made this. So on that clipboard, when they were filling out their intake form, this is the paper that they saw. That way, if they didn't do any of the enhancements before they came in, I still gave them an opportunity to enhance their massage, okay? Now, if you're going to offer somebody a service, make sure that you have the capabilities, the ability to execute it every time you offer it. Don't be like homegirl at the beginning of this video. Don't offer somebody hot stones and then they cold stones, okay? There's some things that you have to have set up. I know it's going to take you 20 extra minutes to shut down at the end of the day, but don't be trying to sell people stuff or upsell somebody's stuff and then you're not ready. Be ready, okay? This is a part of being a business owner. Be ready. So the first thing at the top, as you can see, and I had this laminated and I had a dry erase marker. That way I didn't have to keep reprinting out this page. So they would just check it. And when I would do their initial intake, I would just go over all this stuff to make sure everything was everything. You know, I got you down for the right service for today. I wanted to make sure of that. So as you can see, the massages across the top, I wouldn't even do a 30-minute massage, but hey, I would have stuck to, honestly, 60 and did like 75. 60 and like 75. Okay. Cause I actually did, in franchise, we do like 50s and 80 minutes. You could do the full time. Usually people who work in private practice, they do the full time, which even blows my mind even more to say why these prices so low. So you see the first thing is the foot add-on. Includes a foot massage with warm sugar scrub, warm paraffin wax, and mud mask. Yes, I had all these things, including the paraffin wax machine. So that's a way that you can enhance the service. I do want to tell you though that and the little warm sugar scrub things, I made like a seasonal scrub. So if it was fall, it's like a fall scent, and then changed it up. Again, franchise does do this, but I wasn't working at franchise at the time I developed this. This was just, just from my own creative mind that the Lord has given me. I just created this. So that's something that you could do. Again, mud mask and stuff like that. The person asked specifically about filming, which I'll talk a little bit more about it, but I'm going to integrate it in here. When you talk about filming, some of these things, these are the things that you need to film. You don't need to film necessarily you doing massages on people and like trying to make sure everything is aesthetic. People want to know about the service. In the same way, you're looking for looking for a braider in your area. Let's say you live in Houston, looking for a braider in Houston. You go on YouTube, you type up Houston braiders. You see somebody that does like a lot of hair, and you say, oh, those braids are really nice. And then you find out that they're doing braids in your city. So you can get those braids done by that person. You need to do the same thing with your massage business. If you're looking to advertise in that way, it can work for you. Make sure you keep it about the main thing though. You know what I mean? Just make sure you keep about the main thing. That's all I have. That's the warning that I have to give you. Again, I have right here the facial add-on, and notice the prices. So where the massage, this is how I structured it. You see the massage started off at $55, but most of the time people will put an add-on on it. So you can see how things start to add up, and then you're making your coins. And then I told you about the little enhanced thing, right? So you could do like every time someone, you said, I said on the loyalty program, you book a massage, it's 50 points. You could put every time you enhance your massage, you could put other points associated with that. So they could rack up points that way. I'm sorry, I'm jumping all over the place, but it's okay. I got to get it while it's flowing. Again, the facial add-on includes steam, a cleanse, exfoliation mask, and a massage. If you are not an esthetician, you're not in esthetician school, which I actually was at the time. I actually finished the esthetician program. But if you're not, you can still do relaxing face massages, okay? Just don't do anything that's going to get you in trouble, and then don't do anything that's going to cause anybody to have like a breakout. I would choose a product. I chose the I Am from Honey mask. Very nice on people's skin. And you know what I did? I advertised as such. I let them know as such. And I even put a disclaimer in some of the other paperwork that if you had like if your skin gave you a problem, I'm not here to correct those problems. This is strictly for relaxation. I would look at products that were like non-comedogenic. If you don't know what that means, you probably stay away from people's face. But just relaxing things. And also at the end of the little facial, I would use my like lip gloss. So I have all the little products laid out on this thing, so it was still seamless and relaxing. And I would use the lip gloss that I was making, and the people were like, man, girl, that lip gloss is good. Do you have it? Girl, I got it. You could buy some. And I had different scents and stuff like that. You probably saw it in some of my older pictures. The next thing was hydrotherapy, my favorite add-on. I had a lady add on, girl, all the things one time. Yeah, she added on all the things one time, and then I don't think I told y'all this story. We're not going to get into it today, but instead of paying me, she paid me in like washing powder. I was very naive at the time, as you can tell, but it's okay. Things do change. She paid me in washing powder and toilet paper. She added all the add-ons and paid me in washing powder and toilet paper. Hydrotherapy add-on was one of my favorites. It's a full body scrub, so still that seasonal scrub. And then it was warm milk and honey table bath. So I made like a powdered milk, like a milk bath. I had like a little bowl. It was very nicely done. And if you can't do it, if you can't execute it good, don't do it. But if you can't execute it good, do it. And you don't have to do it if you're not leaning towards more of the spa and you're leaning towards more corrective. Lean toward whatever you're gonna lean toward, and just make sure. I'm just giving you an idea here. Like I said, you're gonna have to use your mind, use your imagination, use your own creativity to make things work for you. I'm just sharing with you, girl. Next is hot stones. You already know hot stones add on infusion, CBD or melatonin. I had both of those, and you could add those to your massage, like in the form of like a topical oil. A cupping, of course, dry brushing, full body stretch, rapid relief, which is the massage gun. So those are all the add-ons, ways to enhance your service. You have to be careful with the booking. Like I said, the booking platform that I use when I used StyleSeat at the time, they allowed you to put all these things in like single, like you could put them in one by one, and then you could put a time associated with it, so that if people booked it made your schedule not be so jam-packed together where people were like overbooking and things like that. You're a business owner, you got to pay attention to your books. There's no way around it. You have to pay attention. That's what the franchise hires people to be at the front desk. You have to pay attention to your books. Confirmings, have people confirm, people paying, pay attention to it. It's a part of being a business owner. You don't want to do it, don't do it. But if you're going to do it, don't have to do it. Okay. No, I wasn't even here as long as I thought that I would be, which is good for me. I hope that you enjoyed today's video. And as always, if you have a question, ask one, and I'll see you in the next video.